Hey everybody! I feel like I should be doing a video on detox or something. I'm sweating so much. It's 33 degrees here in Ontario right now, so yeah, it's warm. But I'm not doing a video on detox. I'm going to talk about stress and the gut. I'm not going to go too in depth, but I am going to give you some ideas on how you can help relieve some stress or manage some stress. So, when you do have chronic stress, it does leave food lingering in your stomach a little bit longer, so you can have constipation. But acute stress, which I think we've kind of all been under with the past couple months, can usually shorten that time of when your food goes in and when it comes out. So that's why when you're nervous, you actually pass food right through you, and sometimes without any control, which I'm sure we've probably all had that experience if we've had like a gastrointestinal infection of some sort, or some people call it the stomach flu, but that's, yeah, gastrointestinal is more of the technical term for that. So this is because in times of acute stress, we produce more stomach acids. So during that chronic stress, we actually produce less. So that would be why the food's not breaking down as quickly or not at all. Sometimes you might even find that you might still have particles of food in your feces if you don't have enough stomach acids and you're under stress. So chronic stress actually leads to not having enough stomach acid, and acute stress, so a shorter period of stress, actually ends up leading into it coming through you really rapidly because you have too much stomach acid. So some of the ways that you can manage stress that are very easy and simple. So you actually have both physiological and physical ways to manage stress. So physiological is like emotional, mental, that kind of thing. And your physical is actually moving and doing something with your body. So the first thing, which I know you're not going to want to hear this, but exercise. So being physically active, that doesn't mean working out and lifting weights. I mean, that's really good for you because it does relieve stress. But that doesn't mean that that's the kind of exercise that you have to have. Going for a nice walk in nature, or taking your dog for a walk, or even working in your gardens, that kind of thing. Just getting out and getting moving. And this actually relieves tension and stimulates the release of chemicals in your brain that are called endorphins. And I'm sure you guys know what endorphins are. And they're actually natural painkillers. So endorphins improve your sleep, which can also help relieve stress. Yes, sleep is very good. It's also one of the best ways to manage stress and maintain a healthy digestive system because it helps, that movement, that mobility aids in your digestive system. The second way that I would recommend to relieve stress is gratitude journaling. So writing down at least daily, one thing at least. I'd like to see 3, maybe, but at least one thing of why you're thankful. Something that helps you think about positive events, things that might help you smile, things that they're tangible things that bring you joy and a feeling of thankfulness. And it helps you to take your focus off of those things that you can't control and put your thoughts more on those positive things that you can actually feel and take control of, and that make you smile and feel good. And then when you're feeling low, you can go back and you can read that journal and remind yourself of all those awesome things that are in your life that you can look forward to, that make you positive and make you happy. So, the third thing that I recommend, and I'm sure that a lot of you have heard of this, but some of you probably haven't, is grounding or earthing. So this is the act of actually putting your body in direct contact with the earth. So this means that your skin needs to touch soil. So if you're gardening, going to the beach, so touching sand, going swimming in a lake or an ocean, so touching water, any kind of natural element like that, or any kind of conductive surface that is in contact with the earth. So from a scientific perspective, the idea is that the earth has this mild negative charge to it, and over time, especially in this modern life of go, go, go and technology, our bodies build up this positive charge. And I know I've talked about this before in one of my other videos about the salt lamp or salt caves, and how the salt actually emits negative ions, which helps us with free radicals and that kind of stuff, which helps us decrease stress. So there's another thing you can do. You can go to a salt mine, or not a mine, but a salt room, or get a salt lamp. That's a type of earthing. So you want to be in direct contact with the earth, which helps you relieve those positive ions. It gives you it gives you more of a neutral state. So many people don't have this contact with the earth anymore because we live in that go, go, go. We live in the city. We don't have access to, I mean, you can go to a park, but, we were a lot of times in the past, years ago, we were raised on farms. People had their own garden. Life wasn't quite as busy. I know as a kid, I would play in the dirt. I would pull a carrot out from the sandbox, or not, sorry, the garden, and, wash it off quick with the hose and eat it, which is good bacteria. And, I'd play in the sandbox with my brothers and, with their toys, and I would lay in the grass and look at the clouds, and we'd have campfires and, sit around the campfire and, tell stories, or somebody would sing, and, just sit in the grass even, and we'd go camping and spend time at the beach together, and we would walk together with our dog or a family, and run around in our bare feet. Who remembers running around in their bare feet? So spend time outside, get outside, and in the winter, go skiing, tobogganing if you can, or make a snow fort and throw snowballs at each other, or just lay in the snow, make a snow angel. Just get outside and touch nature. So that's what grounding is. And it actually, it lowers your stress and promotes calmness by reducing your stress hormones. So those are all very positive things to relieve stress. So another thing is nutrition. So choosing those stress-busting foods. So stress can affect your food preferences. If you haven't noticed in the past couple months, when you are stressed about life or about a situation, you tend to crave certain foods. So comfort foods, right? So lots of carbs, lots of sugar. A go-to would be some mac and cheese, or some chips, or some greasy fries, or maybe a donut. And yeah, so there are feel-good foods, right? So they make us feel good in our head, in our mouth in the moment, but after we swallow it, it does nothing good for us. So we don't want to eat those types of foods. Okay, so cortisol, a hormone released by the adrenal glands, also increases our appetite. So when we're stressed, we'll eat more. So we're not only craving those foods, if we have them, we're going to eat more of them. So physical or emotional distress increases the intake of food that is high in fat, sugar, or both. So what were the ones that I just mentioned, right? So greasy foods and carbohydrates, right? So our sugary foods, right? So there are foods that have been shown to reduce anxiety, and I'm just going to give you a couple. I'm not going to go extensive into it, but salmon is one of them. They're high in omega-3 fatty acids, which are good to combat stress. They're natural mood boosters. Nuts and seeds. So some examples, almonds. Almonds they're chocked full of magnesium, and it's a mineral that actually helps manage your cortisol levels. So citrus foods also, they contain a lot of vitamin C, so that helps lower your blood pressure. And if you eat antioxidant foods, so rich foods like blueberries are also high in antioxidants. So those are also good for the brain. So, okay, the fifth idea here is mindfulness. So there are many techniques that you can do to help you focus your brain on achieving calmness. So a review actually published in 2018 looked at the effects of mindfulness-based interventions on resilience to stress in college students, and it was an 8-week study. So they used mindfulness skills, and it was randomly administered to 75 to 90 minutes, and this focus helped them focus on mindful exercise and periods of self-reflection. And this actually allowed them to, at the end of the trial or the end of the intervention, the students actually reported they had a lower level of stress. So that is pretty cool. So if you don't know what mindfulness is, it's basically thinking about positive things, kind of relaxing your body. You can lay on the floor, you can lay in the grass, and just fill your mind with positive thoughts. And there's lots of apps, there's lots of things online that you can look at. So, and then number 6, my last idea, is develop time management skills. This is not an easy thing to do, but you can start off small and it will develop. So this involves managing your time as effectively as possible. Don't overwhelm yourself with it. So studies have shown that relationships between time management, anxiety, and that academic motivation, students who did a more job managing or poor job managing their time had higher levels of stress. So it's the same thing as students as it would be in your business or in your home. When you feel like you can't control or manage what's going on, you just have this higher level of stress. And so if you take that and you can improve that time management skill. So here are 4 ways. So know your deadlines. If you have deadlines, put it on your calendar and know when those are. Plan ahead. So start your activities before you know that deadline's coming up. So at least start planning your thoughts. If you're somebody who actually does really well with stress, then you're going to leave the majority of things to the end of that deadline, or close to that deadline, because that's actually how you control it. That's just the way you are. Some people are like that. Set goals. So Be specific with your goals. Don't just say, oh, I want to be happy. You have to be very specific. So make it specific, make it measurable, make it achievable, make it attainable, make it reasonable, and set a time. So, yeah, if you want to lose weight, then you set an exact amount of weight, how you're going to achieve that, and in how much time. So, and then avoid procrastination. I could deem myself the queen of procrastination. So I got you on that one, but I can relate to you if you tend to have this problem as well. So I would say, and I've learned this from other people, making a list of 3 to 5 items. Don't overwhelm yourself, and make them priority items. Make them very important to you. And then try to at least accomplish 3 of those things on a daily basis. So if you overwhelm yourself, you're actually probably going to be counterproductive, and you're going to end up doing the opposite. It's going to have that opposite effect. You're just going to say, forget it. So when you see your accomplishments, a lot of times this encourages you to move forward and create more goals and challenge yourself to stay with it. So of course, there's so many other ways to cope with stress, and some of these will work better for some people than they will for others, but try to develop some self-care techniques for yourself and practice them regularly, recognizing the importance of them, and keep them routine. And this will help you with your stress, and this also contributes to gut health. Okay. Have an enjoyable evening, everyone.